IT Solutions is a balanced staffing company developed by a group of professionals with an experience of over 18 plus years in staffing solutions. With years of quality and committed high-end application development and staffing experience, we have become experts at delivering the right fit, the first time. We will be glad to be your last stop and provide you with the perfect solution to your requirements. Follow Scholar IT Solutions LinkedIn page. For more updates, follow our social media pages.
So it is a near real-time replication technology. No technology in the world currently is real-time. So every technology is near real-time. So what do you mean by near real-time? There would be certain microseconds lag that would always be there, but still Golden Gate is the fastest available in the market to replicate data from your source to target. Okay, so that is why I would always say there's a near real-time replication technology. So Golden Gate is not an Oracle product by definition. Golden Gate was acquired by Oracle in 2009. Before that, Golden Gate was a separate company, and it was working how other things work. Then Oracle acquired Golden Gate, and it became Oracle Golden Gate from 2009. It has been going very, very strong in the market. There are a lot of reasons to that why Golden Gate is a leading market product right now. There are a lot of other products available for real-time replication like Stream, HVR, Attunity, you might have heard, but Golden Gate is something that is above all of them. There are certain reasons for that. So if I want to put it in pointers, performance, first point is performance, near real-time, sub-second latency. It is the fastest available product in the market right now. If you want to do a real-time replication, for example, take LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is always there's something going on LinkedIn always. So LinkedIn uses Golden Gate. Okay, so sub-second latency, that's what I said. Low impact, it is very lightweight product. If you want to install Golden Gate, you can install it anywhere. It doesn't require too much of processors. It doesn't require too much of space. It requires very limited, and it will work precisely in low environment infrastructure systems as well. Non-intrusive. Any data that is moved from source to target is always basic encrypted. So there is no chance of any kind of traversing. You can always opt for higher encryption, but if you don't do it, there is always basic encryption available whenever you choose Golden Gate. Okay. Flexible and extensive. So the main point is flexible and extensive. When you say Golden Gate is not only limited to Oracle database. If I have a requirement to replicate data from an Oracle database to a SQL database, from a SQL database to an Oracle database, from SQL to SQL, from SQL to Postgres, from Oracle to any database can be source and target. Golden Gate will work with all of them. So it is not like that if I have a source and target as Oracle database, then only I have to use Golden Gate. No. So it supports heterogeneous source and target. That is what heterogeneous means. Heterogeneous means more than one different type of database targets. And it not only supports database target, it supports your other targets as well, like Kafka as your streams. Okay, it supports cloud targets like object storage in OCI. You have S3 in Amazon. So you name it, Golden Gate supports all of targets. Open modular structure, it supports various structures. So I will show that in the next slide, but it is not like data can move in only one direction. You can do unidirectional replication. You can do bidirectional replication. You can do peer-to-peer replication. So all those structures are supported by Golden Gate. And transactional integrity, it supports ACID properties. Whatever integrity data maintains at the source, it will also maintain at the target. So you don't have to worry about data which was supposed to land at the target later has landed earlier. That will never happen. If you have configured it properly, correctly, it will always maintain transactional integrity. Any questions till now?
No, Ankit.
No. Okay. Great. So these are some of the structures that Golden Gate supports. You can see unidirectional. So if you have one source and one target, data will move from source to target in one direction. Bidirectional, data can move in both the directions. So your both databases, can act as source as well as targets. You can have a peer-to-peer multi-master application where A, B, C. You have three sites and data is moving between them. So that is also possible. Broadcast, where you have one source and multiple targets. So same data from source database can be replicated to multiple targets. So if I have one Oracle database as source, I can move that data to multiple Oracle targets or multiple, different database targets. So that is also possible. Then data warehousing, where you have multiple sources. So that is your data warehouse concept, right? You take the data from various sources and store it into a database for analyzing. So that is possible. So you can have multiple sources and one target. So that database mostly is used for your analysis, your OLAP, your analytical processing, right? Where you collect data from various sources and then do your analytics. Apart from that, there is data distribution via messaging. As I said, you can also move data not to a database target, but to various streams. So you might have seen the billboards on the airports where you continuously see the data flowing about the details of flights, right? Your flight ETA, then is there a delay, and what is the current status? So that billboards is nothing but a Kafka stream. So data is getting there through Golden Gate. So what happens is, for example, a flight is delayed by 20 minutes, for example, take an example. So they will update into their source database, okay, the flight is going to delay by 20 minutes. The data through Golden Gate flows to the billboard, and whenever there is a scrolling going on, you will see that updated, ETA available there. So that is an example of Kafka. So that happens through Golden Gate. Your Indian Railways, all the billboards, everything, information real time that is shared, your platform number, your time, everything happens through Golden Gate. So each and every industry available in the market uses Golden Gate. Your banks uses Golden Gate for your ATM sync. Okay. So in order to understand the architecture of Golden Gate, you don't have to, look for a lot of things. There are only 3 to 4 processes that you will have to create to do a Golden Gate replication. One is a manager process, then your capture process, pump, and delivery. I'll explain this in the next slide, but understand that a manager process is similar. It doesn't do any groundwork, but it is responsible to manage all the other processes. So your manager process is an important process for your successful replication. You need to make sure a manager is up and running. Okay, then you have capture, pump, and delivery. So these are the processes that you will have to configure if you want to do a Golden Gate replication. So this is how it works. Consider I have a source database and I have a target database. We can consider as an Oracle for simplicity. If you want to replicate data from source to target, what you have to do is you have to create a capture process at the source. So as the name suggests, the capture process will capture the data from the source database. Always remember, Oracle Golden Gate will only capture committed data. Okay, it will not capture uncommitted data. The reason being that Golden Gate will capture data from redo logs, your redo logs or your archive logs or your transactional logs for other databases, right? SQL and all. So those logs will have committed data, so it will only capture committed data. It will not capture uncommitted data. Okay, so capture process will be created. Every process that you create has its own parameter file. Based on the parameter file, it will capture data. So for example, I have a database which has 100 tables, but I only want to replicate 10 tables. So how does my capture process know that? So in the parameter file of the capture process, you will mention those 10 tables that, okay, these are the tables that I want to capture, don't capture any other tables. So that is how you segregate the capture of the data. Okay, so once you create a capture process, what will happen is capture process, once it captures the data, it will create a trail file. It is basically a file that will reside on your file system, but it is not a readable format file. You cannot simply do a cat or vi and read the file. That is not possible. Okay, it's a basic encrypted file. So it will create a trail file and all the details will be there in the trail file. Then you will create a pump process. What the pump will do, it will take this trail file and move it over the network to your target database server. So basically that is the main functionality of pump. It will pick the trail that is created by the capture process and move it to your target database server. Once the trail is available at the target site, you will create a delivery process. The delivery process will take the trail as an input and apply the changes to your target database. So this is a unidirectional model architecture of Golden Gate. Very, very simple. Again, you have to create 3 processes: capture, pump, and delivery. You need to make sure your trails are getting created at the right path. So Oracle recommends that you do everything inside the Golden Gate home. So the trails where it gets created, the parameter files, the processes, everything will be put inside the Golden Gate home. Okay, so that there is a central repository available there. So once the capture process creates the trail, the pump will take the trail up and move it to your target over the network. So it's a normal TCP/IP connection. So the pump will connect to the target server on the manager port of your target Golden Gate. Okay, so the port on which your manager would be running, pump will connect on that. If a manager is down, if your target Golden Gate manager is down, pump will fail, saying that I cannot connect to the target. So that is where manager is very, very important. Okay, once you have the trail here, it's moved over the trail, the delivery, that is your replica, take the trail as input and apply to your target database. Any questions? No questions?
No questions.
Hello.
Yes.
I have one question.
Right.
Both source and target, the manager port will be same or different?
You can, if your source and targets are on different boxes on different servers, you can keep the port same. That is up to you. But if you are running both the databases on the same box, then it is not possible. Basically it's a port, right? So if, for example, my source port is 7808 and I am running my target database also on the same server, I cannot use the same port again, right? So it is also always advisable to keep different ports to avoid any confusion. Okay.
Ankit,
Basically,
the
you
trail
make
file.
sure. Go ahead.
Hello, Ankit, the trail
Yeah.
file is the platform independent.
It works for any platform. So you can install Golden Gate on OS, on Windows, Linux, whatever you want. So whatever Golden Gate installation you have done, it will create a trail file for that platform.
No, if I'm taking this trail file on the Windows platform, can I move this to apply it to on the Linux environment?
No, you cannot do that. There is a separate Golden Gate installation for every platform. So if I want to install for Golden Gate for Windows, the software is different. For Golden Gate for Linux, software is different. So you cannot do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I have
So
doubt.
basically,
Hello.
yeah, go ahead.
Previous you said for delaying a planes, it will show message like 20 minutes delay like that. How it will happen? That means in real time through Golden Gate. That is
Basically,
messages.
that's right. So basically, that message is coming from a database. Okay, so whenever suppose there is a delay of a train, they will update a column of a table where the delay column will say 20 minutes. So that's an update on the database. So that will update will happen suppose on this database. So there would be a Golden Gate capture running that will capture it. The same process, everything will happen here. Instead of your target Kafka, it will be a Kafka streaming, and the apply will happen on the Kafka stream. Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. One more point is, see, while downloading Golden Gate, you need to make sure that you take care of 3 things. One is for what database you are downloading. Second, for what OS you are downloading, because the softwares are different. For example, if I want to download Golden Gate for Oracle for Linux, there is a separate software. If I want to download Golden Gate for Oracle for EIX, there is a separate software. Okay, so you need to make sure these things are in order. You check them before you download. For example, if I want to download Golden Gate for Postgres, right, the software is different. So that thing you need to take care. Okay, anybody else has any questions? Yeah.
Okay, quick question. Do you have usually multiple instances of Golden Gate running on the same host, or usually they just go with one as a standard practice?
You can do that. So for example, you have both your databases on the same box, but both the databases versions are different. So I have an Oracle Oracle DB12C as my source and Oracle DB19C as my target, right? And both are on the same box. So you will have to install Golden Gate for source as well as Golden Gate for target, right? Because the database versions are different. So you will have two instances.
Okay, but if you have multiple database versions in the same host and all of them are sources, would you be able to configure two instances of Golden Gate?
You can do it now. With Oracle Golden Gate 21C, you can do it now.
Okay.
But before that, you will have to, whenever you install, it will ask you are installing for which version database, right? 12C, 19C. So if you have different versions of source base, definitely you have to install different instances.
Okay. So for till all this, like till the 21 version, you could only use it for one database version, right? That is what you are saying.
Right.
Okay.
So you'll have to one database, and that has to be minor version also same. So you cannot use 12.2, 12.3 like that. That also has to be same. Right.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Great. Moving on. So if I want to do bidirectional, right? If I have two active sites, for example, both the databases are active and the data is flowing, production data is coming on both the databases. So you can have your bidirectional configure also using Golden Gate. So basically what you have to do is you have to create both the those processes at both the sites. So I have a capture here, I will have a capture here as well. I have a pump here, so I will have a pump here as well. I have a delivery here, so I will have a delivery here as well. So this is your active. So this is only for sites where your application users are connecting on both the sides and data is traveling on both the sides. So that is where you can use Golden Gate. You have to make sure certain things take place. So Golden Gate can do CDR, that is your conflict detection and resolution. For example, two users update the same table at both the sites, right? So that is a conflict, correct? So that is resolved by Golden Gate internally. So you don't have to worry about that. So that option is also available. So very, very simple bidirectional also. Just make sure that you are configuring the processes in a proper way. Okay. So this is about the architecture. That's about the architecture. If there are any questions, I'm open to take for the architecture now. Okay. Moving forward, heterogeneity. See, this is not an updated list, but Golden Gate supports everything right now. Most of them is supported. I won't say everything. So if you want to capture from a database, Oracle, DB2, SQL, Teradata, Postgres, MySQL, it can capture from all the available. Basically, it needs transactional logs. So databases which generate logs, it can capture from them. For those databases which doesn't have logs, right, Netezza and those, it can only deliver data to those databases. So if you have a proper log available with your database, there is no reason why Golden Gate will not be able to capture. And as you said, platforms, it works on all the platforms. Your Linux, Sun, Windows, HP, whatever you want, it works on all the platforms. Okay. Cloud options, as I said, Golden Gate is not only limited to databases or streams, it works on a cloud as well. So if I have a database running on GCP, right? If I have a Postgres running on GCP box, I can capture data from there and move it to an Oracle database like that. So if I have Amazon Aurora, Aurora Postgres or Aurora SQL running here, the Golden Gate can capture data from here and move the data to an Oracle Autonomous also, an object storage also, or any other cloud you want. So it is very, very compatible with all the available clouds in the market, be it Amazon, Azure, your GCP, your Oracle cloud, all of them it is compatible with. So if you want just to move data to Hadoop, right? Hadoop, HDFS, S3 as a object storage, Azure Data Lake Gen 1, Gen 2, everywhere it can move the data. You don't have to look beyond Golden Gate. Many questions on the cloud options. Anybody has any, any doubts or anything on the cloud options, how it works or how it works, or what is the configuration needed? So before I move to this slide, any Golden Gate that you do for non-databases, right? There is something called as Golden Gate for big data that you need to do. So there are 3 types of Golden Gate softwares. One is Golden Gate for Oracle, Golden Gate for non-Oracle, and Golden Gate for big data. So Golden Gate for Oracle is for big Oracle databases. Golden Gate for non-Oracle, you will have databases which are non-Oracle, like DB2, your MySQL, your MS SQL, those things, right? And whenever you have targets which are not databases, okay, which are something else like object storages or streams, then you have Golden Gate for big data. So you need to download and install Golden Gate for big data and then do the configuration. Okay, so there are a lot of targets that are non-databases right now. So if you are willing to learn Golden Gate, or if you're willing to, explore it, you need to definitely look at Golden Gate for big data as well. It is very, very simple. It is same only how you do Golden Gate download and install. You have to do the same for Golden Gate for big data. Only thing is, for big data, there is a separate process. There is a configuration file that you need to maintain. Based on that configuration file, the data will flow. So that is something you can explore. Right. So the one last topic for today is I have heard a lot of questions regarding this Active Data Guard and Golden Gate comparison. People ask, why do I need Golden Gate if I have Data Guard? So see, these are 2 different technologies. Data Guard is to maintain your standby sites. Okay, so if you want to create a DR, if you want to maintain a DR, then you use Data Guard. Golden Gate is for replication. Okay, see, if I tell you normally you can read this, that's fine. But if you have done Data Guard, you know that for Data Guard your target cannot be open. It will always be read only. That is the first difference. So it is only data transfer, but you cannot use that site for active. Okay. Secondly, you don't have permission. You don't have option in Data Guard to just move a sample data, right? Subset of data. If you're configuring Data Guard, you need to replicate. You need to move entire database. There is no option of moving only one table, one schema, or something like that. There is no option of creating that kind of DR, right, with Data Guard. But with Golden Gate, you can do. You can choose an option to just move one table or one schema or entire database. So you can choose that using Golden Gate. Also, Data Guard is only limited to Oracle. I can only configure Data Guard for Oracle databases. But for Golden Gate, it is not like that. Right? You can configure Golden Gate for your any type of databases. You don't need an Oracle database to configure Golden Gate. There are a lot of other differences. It's one-way physical replication, as I said. Only one-way replication. You cannot have an active. Okay, it is a standby as an exact copy. As I said, you don't have an option to do a subset of data movement. That is not, your standby will be an exact copy. Okay, but in Golden Gate it is not. You can have an active configuration. You can have one to many, many to one, as I said, right? Your target can be a different database with the same data. So I can move data from an Oracle to a SQL database using Golden Gate, but I cannot use Data Guard there, right? That is not. So these are some differences. It is extremely flexible. Source and target are open read write. So my source and target both are open at the same time. If I want, I can create an active passive also. I can create an active also. That's up and entirely up to me, right? Any questions in this? No questions? Anybody? Any questions on the architecture? Okay, great. So this is what I have for Golden Gate, but I am open to questions. If you want to ask any kind of use cases, I can explain that as well. We have
Can
time.
you tell about the classic and integrated capture?
Right. So yes, so see, Golden Gate again, that's a very good question. Let me explain that. Golden Gate comes in two architectures. Okay, one is classic and one is microservices. Always remember, integrated is not an architecture. Okay, so there are two type of architectures in Golden Gate. One is classic and one is microservices. Microservice is a GUI based architecture. So, and your classic is a command line. So if some of you have done Golden Gate, you log into Golden Gate prompt GGSCI, right? And then do your configuration. So that is your prompt base. So that is your classic. Microservice is your GUI base, where you have the GUI option of doing things, where you can create your extract, replicate everything through the GUI. Oracle is moving Golden Gate slowly to microservices. My classic is deprecated from 21C. So after 21C, everything will be microservices, and classic will no further be supported. So it is very important to learn microservices. Now the question is, what is the difference between classic and integrated format? So there are two type of capture or pump or delivery process that you can create. One is classic and one is integrated. So integrated will work only with Oracle database. So if you have an Oracle database and source a target, you can create your integrated format of your capture, pump, and delivery. What is the difference? Classic works for all. So if you have Oracle or as well as non-Oracle, you can create your classic format. The difference is integrated little faster because it uses the log mining facility of your Oracle database. So in classic, what happens is your extract will go and fetch the data from your redo log in classic. So it will take little time because extract is an external process. It's external to your database redo logs. That is where the time is more. But in classic, integrated, what happens? Your log miner will fetch the data and pass it to your extract in the form of LVRs, logical chain LCRs. Okay, so that is the difference. While creating, it is very simple. You just give a word integrated while creating it. There is no other thing that you do. But the difference comes is your log mining facility of Oracle database will be used as part of integrated format. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
So Ankit, irrespective of what architecture you use between integrated and classic, and using log miner, it still goes by the basic rule of reading only committed data, right?
Right. So that's the basic rule. That is for every database. So your integrated is mostly, if you have an Oracle database, go for integrated format. But if you have a SQL or Postgres or anything, you don't have that option. So the basic rule remains the same. It will only capture committed data. It won't capture uncommitted.
Irrespective whether you're using log mining or reading from online redo logs or archived redo logs.
Right. See, in integrated also, it reads from the redo logs and archive redo logs only. The
Correct.
difference is how it reads. In your classic, your extract will go and read, and it will filter. But in your integrated, your log mining will do that work.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But
the
at the
end of the day, it reads from there.
Correct. The log miner was always available for data guard and standby technology. Now they introduced this part of Golden Gate as well.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Is it possible for you to explain about the configuration parameters, like the dump files we create?
Which configuration parameter? I didn't get that.
Like say where the discarded files goes.
Okay. Right. So see, whatever you create, so these processes, right? Whenever you create this process, as I said, they have their own parameter file. So whatever configurations I create, I I will put there. So if I have suppose some tables or a particular schema that I want to capture, so I will put it there. Okay. And then if I want that anything that is coming, that is not needed or that is not correct, that has to be moved to a separate discarded file. So I will put that information also there. Discard file, that is a parameter that you have to use, and you give the file name with the path. So anything that Golden Gate thinks is not correct will move to that file, and later you can check. So for example, your process abandoned, right? So you can always check the discard file. Okay, something that came that was not correct. So that is where your discard file comes into picture. There are a lot of parameters available in Golden Gate. For any work that you do, there are parameters. Okay, so that is something, as you learn, as you work, you will understand what parameters to use. Whenever you face an issue or when you face a situation, okay, this is what I have to do, then you start searching if there is any parameter available for that. So believe me, everything is possible, and for everything there is a parameter. For discard file, there is a parameter. If you want to use, if you want to remap your columns, so you have your columns in source and target are different, something like that. So that also there is a parameter. Okay, for every if you want to do any kind of SQL statements, if you want to there is a data and you want to do any kind of filtration or any kind of transformation, for that also parameters are available. So you need to practice for that. Slowly you will understand what parameters are there, but there are n number of parameters in Golden Gate.
Ankit,
Okay.
what will happen if suppose we don't mention discard file in our
Nothing
any
will happen.
process? Then what will
Nothing
happen?
will happen.
So
If you don't
discard
mention
file,
discard file, you won't. So see, these are optional. It's not mandatory parameters. Okay. So if you don't mention discard file, that discard file will not be created. You might not get enough information. But I generally don't use discard file, because if you have an issue, there are a lot of information available in the process logs itself. So every process has a report file. So our capture process has its own report file. Your pump process has its own report file. So for example, my capture is not running, or it is abandoned, or it is not starting, I can definitely go and look in the report file. It will give me a very simple plain text, reason why it is not starting. So you can use discard file for more information, but if you choose not to use, there is no harm in that.
So one quick question for the ones that deprecated in 21i, so sorry, 21c. So everything is the microservices. That's going to be
Right.
Configure and create everything using GUI.
Right.
Okay, so first we have to install software, and then we configure how the
Process
capture.
remains the same. So how you download and install Golden Gate for Oracle, right? Then you will download Golden Gate for microservices. Okay. So you can choose to install it at the same way how you do at the source and target one instance, or there is an option of hub architecture in microservices. So you can install your microservices on a hub architecture, and you can do remote capture and remote delivery. That is also possible.
Okay.
But the main advantage of microservices is GUI architecture. It is not available for all the targets right now, for all heterogeneous targets. Slowly, as the versions, new releases will come, Oracle will add the targets. Okay. Initially, microservices were only for Oracle till 19c. But in
So my
21,
question is like this: once I install software, Golden Gate software, so do I need to, as I mentioned, do I need to configure parameter files, table configurations by manually, or it can be done through GUI?
It will be done through GUI. You don't have to do manually. So
Right,
it will give you options. So whenever you click, right, it will automatically create the parameter file. But then if you want to change it, you can change it. That is also option is available in the GUI only. You don't have to go to the server and change it.
Right.
So for example, while creating, you added 5 tables, right? And after some days, you want to add 2 more tables.
Right.
So that option is available in the GUI only.
Okay.
Ankit, this Geo is in for 19C only, or in earlier funds also we have like 12C or like this we have?
So microservices, it came from 18C, 12.3. So 12.3 is 18C. From there, microservices came into picture. But till before 21C, it is only available for Oracle. But after 21C, there are a lot of other targets available. So for example, I think MySQL is available. So if you have for MySQL, for big data also, they have added targets for microservices.
Okay.
So how about the troubleshooting? Like say if any conflict detection, so that's still we have to go to the logs on the server.
You have the logs at the GUI. So there is a tab there. Okay, there are
Oh,
tabs.
okay.
So for every process log, also report file, also you can go in the tabs, or if you want to look at the GGSCR log, right? That's if you know that log. So that
Right.
also is available on the GUI. Everything is on the GUI. But if you don't like it, there is an option of going to the server also. There is an admin client. Okay. Because for some people who are using Golden Gate from long time, from 11G, they are quite accustomed to doing through command line, right? For that also, there is an option of admin client. So you can go log into an admin client and do how it normally works in all the other versions.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Anything else for the troubleshooting? As I said, your report files, for every process there is a report file. You just need to go and look at the report file. There is a log called ggSCR.log. So it is analogous to your alert log in database, right? How you have. So you have ggSCR.log. If you want to look at that log, you can also look at that log. These are the only two things there where you will find information, because you won't need any more information to resolve errors. Golden Gate is very simple architecture, so these error logs are very simple, very normally written.
Hey, Ankit, so can you explain any one example of migration, just like brief, like highlighted steps like Oracle to Postgres or Oracle to MariaDB? Any examples? Or can you explain any brief?
Right.
If you have any document or something.
So Oracle to Postgres migration you can do. So see, for migration there are two things that you need to make sure. One is your real-time replication is running, and you need to do initial load. Okay, so these are two things that you have to do. For Oracle to Postgres, again, what you have to do is at Oracle side you will install Golden Gate for Oracle. At Postgres, let's take Postgres. You will install Golden Gate for Postgres. Once you have both the softwares available, you will first what you will do is you will configure your processes. So you will have a separate initial load capture, and your initial load delivery is a separate process. So that you have to configure it separately. Then you have to configure your CDC, your change delivery capture. So whatever new data that comes in, that will be captured by your CDC processes, and whatever data that is available already in the database, that will be moved over by Golden Gate initial load processes. So these are the two things that you have to configure. Configuration wise, it remains pretty same. All the process has this parameter file. So if you are doing for entire database, you don't have to mention much. You just need to mention star.star in your table parameter. So star.star means entire database, right? So for initial load, you need to so how it happens is your Oracle will work through your SCN number, right? So you need to, whenever you try to start your initial load, you take the SCN number first, and then you invoke your initial load, and use that SCN number in your CDC, so that there is no duplicate at the target. So there is a process, but it is very simple. Once you are aware about how to configure this, you will not have a problem in configuring. But yeah, so two things: initial load and your CDC. These are required for migration. For replication, only CDC is needed, provided your source and target are already in sync. If not, you will need to do initial load there as well.
So are you saying that you can do initial load and real-time replication parallelly?
You can do. There is no problem.
Okay.
Okay, there is no problem.
Yeah. So other question, like say if you have like 30 terabytes of data,
Mhm.
Is the same applies for the same approach?
Same approach. It can handle terabytes of data. See, that's up. See, initial load is something that is your choice. So if you have an
Okay.
Oracle database at both the sides, you can always do initial load using ASPDP also. You can do an initial load by restoring the backup of the database as a target. So initial load is always your choice, but Golden Gate also gives you an option to do initial load.
Let's say if you have your source database 30 terabytes, you do is take Arman backup and restore on secondary
Yes,
side,
right.
and how that replication will pick up, like for the replication.
So again, so your Arman also you will have a SQL predicate of something SCN number, right? So you can
Right.
use that,
Okay.
and after SCN you have to use the CDR. So
Okay.
Oracle it is very simple. You just use your SCNs.
Okay.
Hello.
So any other alternative tools to Golden Gate in the market?
There are. So there is something called as Attunity. Then there is HVR. Then there is Trim. But these are all, the problem with these are they cannot withstand 30 terabyte of, for example, you asked, right? They cannot withstand the performance for those high databases. So
Okay.
any big company, retail, you see, anything you see that they all use Golden Gate. Macy's in US, if you guys are from somebody from US, Macy's uses Golden Gate. Okay, your LinkedIn, your banks, your SBI, your HDFC, everybody uses Golden Gate.
Yeah, it's widely used for data warehouse and data analysis mostly.
No, it is widely used for replication.
Yeah, but yeah, you have to do replication from your OLTP and other sources to data warehouse, right?
Right. So once you have data in data warehouse, you can use OSA, Oracle Stream Analytics also on that to do analysis. So that is also a product available.
Okay.
Ankit, one thing in during month end in our source DB, due to some month end process, the few tables rows got updated regarding crores of rows. Due to that, DR got abandoned, so it never comes on sync. Every time we have to take the export after 2 days, and then again we import, and then again we start like this. Is there any way to avoid this situation?
So why did the DR go out of sync? I did not understand that.
Because a huge transaction was there during for a few days.
Okay.
1 or 2 days.
So you are using data guard for that, right?
No, Golden Gate.
So when you say huge transaction, what kind of transaction? How many redo per hour you are generating?
Around 50 GB, 50 to 100 GB.
That is very normal. So if that is per
That
hour
process got
generation,
means in that process run, that aggregation runs during the night. After when we come in the morning, there is a lag of when they starts after 1 hour it got abandoned and it never comes on sync.
so what is the reason it got abandoned? Any idea? I mean, what is the error that you get when because abandoned? It will not. Having lag is a separate thing. That it is not able to catch up to the data that is coming. Okay, so it will always show lag. But it is abandoned, then there is an issue, right? So if your process is getting abandoned, then you need to find out why it got abandoned. Because it got abandoned, and then that is why the lag has come. Then you need to fix that issue.
That lag also never comes up. If it is not abandoned, the lag never comes up. It lag goes on extending only.
So there are some performance parameters that you need to look at. So see, these are very environmental based questions. So it is not like everything has a standard answer. So there are some performance you can use group trans ops, your batch ops, those things you can check. But these are all very environmental based questions.
Yeah, for particular few tables, every month we are facing this issue.
Right. So yeah, I mean, you have to look at how to increase your performance or the bandwidth between these two, or use batches, as I said, batch ops or group trans ops, those things you use.
Ankit, is there a possibility to have multiple capture processes?
Yes, you can.
You can, right? So whoever was talking before, because of the heavy data, if they feel the data is very heavy, probably they could substantiate certain tables with one capture process or certain schemas. That will speed up and that will be more beneficial,
No,
right?
that would not be beneficial. See, every capture process is a will take your space, will take memory, CPU and memory on your box.
Correct.
Okay, so if the more capture process you create, it's going to put more, more pressure on your box. So if your work can be done with one capture process, you do it with one capture process only. Don't create more. But
In the situation what he was in the situation what he was mentioning, if he's
so
not
he is
able to
mentioning
extend
the
load.
lag at the replicate side. He's not having any problem at the capture side. Okay.
Okay.
So the problem is with the replicate. If I understood.
So in the replicate side, he can have multiple. What is that process to capture?
You can use parallel
component?
replicates. Okay, you can use parallel replicates and see whether it works. So there are certain things that you can check and do, but yeah, as I said, it's no, there is no standard answer to these questions. It is always environment based. You look at the environment and then take a call.
Environment based, and the product is very flexible. The architecture is flexible, so you can configure what suits you best.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the other question related to capture. So for each extract, it's a dedicated capture process or one capture process?
One capture, see, a capture is nothing but an extract. So it says capture here, but when you create, it is an extract in Golden Gate, basically. So there is no
Like say I
capture.
have 5 extracts. How many capture process I have?
5.
5 capture. Okay.
So,
thank
hello.
you. The other question is like, how about the patching and upgrades on the Golden Gate side?
Very simple.
How
So you can do
Oracle releases?
Okay, yearly Oracle will release the major version. Okay, so
not like
21C got
quarterly
released
patching.
because 20C did not come because of COVID. So the next year they will release 22C. Okay, so you can always look at the support and extended metrics of what you should do best. But there is an option of doing in-house upgrade, or you can do out-of-place upgrade also in Golden Gate. You just need to install the new version and just copy certain files. That's it.
It's just one major upgrade, or there's a bug fix patches also?
Yeah, that will come quarterly.
Okay.
See, it follows the same process how your database has, Oracle database has. Quarterly bug fixes, quarterly patches, quarterly updates. Okay,
Right.
but major release is yearly.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
So, hello.
Yeah.
So you're saying don't use multiple extracts, or you're saying use multiple extracts?
Don't use multiple extracts. Because every extract is a process, and that will take your CPU and memory on the box.
Okay, you're saying it's correct, but it is correct way. That means, for example, already Shashi said, someone said, for example, there is a issue. What is that? How to reduce that issue? That means you are saying memory pressure on box means how to overcome.
See, nowadays the performance is nobody's looking at performance because your memory and CPU is pretty cheap in the market. Everybody is using cloud, right? You just upscale it. So if you have a problem at your memory and CPU, you upscale it. If you can't do it, you cannot resolve that issue by increasing the number of extracts. That's not going to help you if your memory and CPU are less. You need to make sure that you are running your extracts in a time where there is less load or something like that you have to do. But yeah, I mean, creating number of extracts or number of pumps or number of deliveries will not help you.
So you are saying strictly don't use multiple extracts. Only use single extract. You are saying.
If your can work with single extract, do that. If you think that your single extract is not working for you, or you need to segregate for certain, if you have application tables, you have development tables, you have production tables, you have monitoring tables, and you want separate extracts because separate teams are looking into it, then you can create. But if you can do the work with one extract, do that. Use one extract.
Okay. Can you explain handle collisions for 10 minutes? How you overcome?
Handle collision is nothing but it is a parameter that you have to use if you have duplicate values. Okay, so if you're using initial load and if you're using CDC together, there is an option. There is a possibility that you will have duplicate data. So you use your handle collision at your replicate in your initial load replicate, so that whenever there is a duplicate, it will make sure that your process is not abandoned.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Great. So if anybody, I can take another question, last question, if anybody has, or I'm good to close the session.
Yeah, Ankit, so are
Yeah.
you going to cover microservices architecture at some point, or this is it? This was your plan?
I can cover, but again, that depends upon Scholar IT.
Okay.
So, you can put a request to them if your microservices architecture is required. But yes, that can definitely be covered, and it is important. Or we
Yeah.
can plan to have a microservices session maybe next. So I can do that.
Yeah, sometime in the near future. I mean, not now,
Right.
but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, keep looking at the updates from these guys. So if there's a session, definitely, I think we should cover microservices. That is important, right?
Yeah. Thank you. Otherwise, it was very helpful.
No problem. Thank you so much, everybody. You can reach out to me, as I said, if you want, whenever you want. I'll just show it again. That's my LinkedIn and my number available on the slide. You can reach out to me whenever you want. Okay. Karthik, anything else, or we can close it? Karthik?
Yeah, Ankit, hello.
I was asking anything else, or we can close this?
Yeah, Ankit, if all okay, we can end.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your time. Looking forward to meet you guys again in the next session. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks.